recording.
Both recording.
Yeah. If I move this one,
You're going to put this on your YouTube?
Yeah. Well, it depends if it's good.
That's the point.
If it's good.
Okay.
If it's not, then obviously we can't.
I don't want to.
You're nervous now, aren't you?
I don't want to lose my job.
nervous now?
I just don't want to lose my job. That's the
You're
thing.
not
Why do you think you lose your job? This is a good way to start.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
This is the best way to start.
Okay, cool.
Making people think that something mad is gonna happen. Imagine.
Yeah.
It's calm. We don't love Andrew Tate over here. Anyways, this is Kilimanjaro podcast. We're back at it again, featuring a new special guest. I don't know where she came from really, but I saw her YouTube and I was like, oh, I had to get her on, you know what I mean? So go subscribe to that. But yeah, introducing Gino over here. Say welcome to the people.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're well.
She just got hella nervous. She thinks she's gonna lose her job. I don't know what's going
No.
on.
Please don't say that. No, I'm not nervous. I'm quite excited to actually do this.
Yeah.
My first podcast. So,
But
yeah.
you've done ones before, right? Like I feel like you've had some on your YouTube channel where you're collaborating with people and just
Yes,
talking about,
I had collaborations in the
yeah,
past.
renting out your like, spare rooms and stuff like that. That's what I saw.
Definitely. So yeah, I do have my own YouTube channel, and it's exciting to actually do my first podcast with you guys.
Yeah.
And get my views across.
Yeah.
And
What kind of views do you want to get across first? I heard you had some views about coconuts and that, so do you want to tell me more about that?
Yeah, they'll call them mizanah a coconut.
Yeah, like straight away. I heard them laughing outside. I was like, I'm just trying to get a chair, you know, I'm trying to be the nice guy and shit. Tell me what's going on.
I don't want to offend anyone here, obviously.
Anyone who starts a sentence with that is about to offend someone.
Okay. Well, obviously, obviously, my friend told me that you don't really know who you are, where you come from.
Who I am?
You don't
That's
know his
crazy.
I mean, his roots.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, how could you not know your roots?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where your parents are from.
Yeah.
I mean, they were probably born there, or your ancestors were born there.
Yeah.
So
potentially.
your bloodline is
Who
from
knows?
there.
You don't know yet, right?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know
making
that.
assumptions and that.
No.
It's cool. You can make assumptions.
I'm not making assumption. I'm not
That's
making
what it sounds
assumption.
like to me.
No.
Anyone in the audience, let me know.
I
It
mean-
sounds like an assumption. But yeah, no, I feel like I don't know my roots as much as a lot of people in the Asian community.
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of wear it as like a stamp of pride, and I think that's a good thing. you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, I'm just trying to get into it now. I feel like, you know, because I feel like my life from school until like uni times, like, trying to figure myself out, it wasn't so much about that. It was so much about like my self-development journey and what I want to do and the kind of people I want to surround myself with and stuff. So I didn't really have a lot of exposure in terms of like Asian friends growing up. So I feel like that's why now you see the podcast is like hella brown people in it, and we're gonna put a stop to it. Don't worry, guys. But for now, you know, I'm obviously trying to push myself to have these conversations with more brown people so that I can understand like where I'm coming from a little bit more.
Okay.
Like, I haven't even been to India yet. You know, people ridicule the fuck out of me for that. Because I'm actually like, you know, Indian, Tanzanian kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
Like we migrated from like India to East Africa and then so
Okay.
you know, but I wouldn't say I don't know anything about my culture and shit. That's a little bit of a strong stance to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
No, I sorry, I didn't know that this backstory of yours that you don't that you grew up around
I
white
made it sound
people.
really, like emotional.
Yeah, no. I didn't know that you.
It was
I
good,
did.
it was good.
I didn't know.
I enjoyed myself.
I didn't know that you grew up obviously
Yeah.
with no Asians and you went to predominantly white school. So I didn't know.
And it's
any
weird,
of,
right? It's
Yeah.
weird for like
So
an Asian guy to kind of talk in that way. Because it's almost like I'm segregating myself from that, but like I'm not trying to segregate myself from the pack. I'm just trying to understand like everyone, you know.
Okay,
because
cool.
That's kind of the world we live in.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. If you
like you know our parents.
yeah,
right?
if you're
Do you feel like they're
segregating
kind of
yourself,
backwards
if you're segregating yourself, then I probably would have. It probably would have been different. But if you're trying to understand, if you're trying to understand your culture, or where you come from, where your bloodline is from, then I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important as an immigrant in this country that you know where you're from, what your culture is, what it consists of, and what your bloodline is all about.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have very different experiences.
Yeah,
you and I, right? Like obviously, like I was born here, and you came to this country like 11 or something.
Yes, so I actually.
So that's why you'd be like more passionate about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But talk to us about your backstory and stuff. I know you want to kind of like wave the flag for Sri Lanka and that. So I'll let you do that.
So I'm Tamil. So I was born and raised in Paris, in France.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Tamils there.
I'm
Paris
French.
And Germany.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of obviously Sri Lankans all around the world. But obviously
they're everywhere, man.
In Sri Lanka,
they do the business.
In Sri Lanka, yeah.
Yeah.
So in Sri Lanka, there was a civil war in the 80s with the Tamil Tigers, with Sri Lankan government.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that migrated to the West due to that. And obviously, my parents came to the West, obviously had to have a better life, to start fresh.
Yeah.
And then I moved here because they wanted to give the same opportunity that other kids would have. So
they didn't want you to miss out on your
they didn't want me to miss out on my opportunity. They wanted me to do well, and they wanted the best for the kids. That any parents, they would do any sacrifice for, to raise the kids in the best way possible, to give them the opportunity to go to school, to go to top schools, and also get the best education and job opportunity. So I when I moved here, it's not that we didn't have any opportunities in France. There's a lot of opportunities in France. There's a lot of opportunity in the West. So it's not that I didn't have any opportunities. It's just because my family, like some of my family, my first cousin lived here, and then obviously it kind of influenced my dad to actually move here in the UK. Yeah. So at the age 11, I didn't really know what was going on. I wanted to obviously stay back because, we grew up there, the families were there, my childhood friends were there. Life was good. Yeah. I didn't have anything to complain about. I didn't know why we were making a drastic change to move to England. Yeah. And then eventually we did move. It was very tough. I remember growing up, I used to sleep in the floor, in the living room of my auntie. So they used to live in a council flat, and we didn't really have anywhere to stay. So we used to sleep in the floor with my mom, my sisters, my brother. Yeah. And my dad was just in France, obviously trying to provide for us and everything. Yeah. So it was a very hard upbringing. I didn't really have much growing up. It was tough. Went through a lot in life. Yeah. But obviously it made who I am today. And I'm very proud of where I'm from. I can today say that I speak 4 languages. And not everyone can say that.
That's the thing. Yeah. It's embarrassing if you don't speak more than one language.
So I'm very proud. I'm glad that we've done the migration. I'm glad of where I'm from. I'm proud of where I'm from. I'm proud of the life that I had. I wouldn't complain one bit. I'm very grateful for the experience.
And would you say that now because you may have complained before? Like as you were growing up?
There are certain things that I complain.
So what would you say was the biggest pain points of that process?
Pain point is just a lot of family drama. Especially coming from a brown family, you expect your extended family to be there for you. Yeah.
But I feel like that's never the case in Asian households, right? And obviously, CJ, like he's kind of coming from an outside perspective, so it's pretty good here. Yeah. A lot of Asian families, they kind of have like a tight knit, like immediate family, and then like the extended family kind of like bitches around each other and stuff a little bit. I feel like that's prevalent in all cultures.
In all cultures,
right?
Yeah. But
why would you say it's like different in like Asian households?
I wouldn't say it's an Asian household. I think it was probably more of my household.
But that's what a lot of people say. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they kind of say a similar kind of frame of mind.
Yeah, I just wish
it makes me think that it's like a wider thing, not just like a personal thing. Even though you only have your personal experience.
Yeah, I'm talking from my own personal experience. So I wouldn't say that it's just an Asian thing. So an Asian family. I wouldn't group as an Asian thing because obviously there are people out there that have had better experience than I've had.
But would you say they're outliers?
Yeah, maybe I'm an outlier. I would just wish there was more support coming to a new country, starting fresh. I just wish there was more support and there was more encouragement. There was more less jealousy.
Should be happy for you.
Yeah, happy for you if you're doing if you're doing well. If you go to school and you're trying to make your parents proud. People should be encouraging each other, less jealousy and less competition, and just encourage each other to do well, I know the Asian community is very competitive in nature, and I wouldn't say, I'm not complaining. Cricket, right? I'm not complaining about it. I think it's a good thing that we're competitive because we live in a competitive world. But I just think in general, it would be better if we all are a bit more supportive towards each other, and where we are at what stage of our journey we are in. And I mean, if tomorrow I help you, you might help me in return. So I see it like that. And that's how it should work. And I didn't really, have that.
You didn't feel that.
I didn't feel that reciprocation. And then earlier on, and very early during my teenage years, in my growing up, I just, I knew it. If I have to do something about my life, it has to be me. It has to come from me. I shouldn't rely on anyone else. It has to be from me, for where I'm coming from. So I have to put the work. I shouldn't be more independent, less rely on people, and put less trust in people. And if I want to be where I want to be, I need to focus on me. Solely focus on me. And if I'm in a better place tomorrow, I'll bring my family along, and then the rest of the community. That's what I thought.
When did you make that decision again?
That was probably my teenage years. Obviously, no one was really supportive. So I just decided, you know what? I need to very grind hard in my school years. Work hard, do my homework, study hard, get the best grade possible, go to extracurricular activities to be part of, be part of like different groups. So I was part of the netball club growing up. I used to play violin. I used to teach kids French. So I did everything I can in my spare time to be this all-rounded person. Try to use all my skill sets in a useful way. And I did that to be an all-rounded person, so that I'm less relying on people. And then, do
you feel like that came from the fact that it wasn't reciprocated when you wanted to help someone out and stuff? You were like, okay, fuck everyone else kind of thing.
It came from...
that's kind of how it comes across.
It came from the fire that I had in my belly to do well. Yeah. The fact that my parents sacrificed everything for me to have a better life, it came from that. So that's where it's coming from. And also because of the reciprocation of not having it from my immediate family. You know what? I had an extra fire in my belly to actually do well. To go out there and go for the best, reach for the stars.
And what does that look like for you? Like reaching for the stars.
For me, reaching for the star is actually being, financially free.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people would say, like financially free, like independent, like don't have like shackles or too many responsibilities that they can't adhere to.
Exactly.
Like, adhere to all of their responsibilities.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, maybe go a little bit more niche in terms of like your personal experience. Like, I know you do a lot of house stuff and you kind of want to build like investments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I know from your friend. So
so from what my friends probably told you about it, I'm all about obviously having financial freedom, creating passive income, having multiple source of income, obviously building, creating wealth, generational wealth, and I obviously want to try different avenues and do that. And obviously invest appropriately, so obviously not spend more than I have in my bank account. So that's probably something that I've always have in mind.
And it's crazy, right? Because a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't do that because they don't really see the long term.
Why do you think they don't see that?
They don't see that because they're not educated. They don't spend time reading books. They don't spend time with people that have made it to the top. They don't spend time watching YouTube videos, motivational video about passive income. They don't spend time with like-minded people. If you really want to create generational wealth, if you really want to make an impact in the world, you need to be surrounded with people that are like-minded. If your average friend talk about Kim Kardashian, Love Island, and EastEnders, you're not going to get anywhere in life. You need to cut the noise and focus on what's important in your life.
So did you have a lot of friends like that?
Not really. I didn't have many friends growing up like that.
Or did you just kind of avoid all of them and you're like this person who just like avoided all of them?
For me it was more like, if they don't add value in my life, I don't really spend much time with them. As blunt as I sound, that's what it was like. So I'd rather have...
I feel like a lot of adults have that persona now.
Yeah.
So I feel like, we're at that age where we're over 25, like we're kind of like fending for ourselves. We know that no one's really going to help us.
Yeah.
So we have that mindset now, but you seem to have that mindset way before most people.
And
like I'm trying to like connect the dots. So you said your dad was like working in France.
Yeah, right? Earlier on he did work in France.
But then he came over.
Then he came over, and then obviously it was hard because there was my siblings, my sisters, and myself, and my brothers. We're a big family, and I always there's always.
I'm trying to understand where you got that work ethic from.
I feel it's more coming from my mom. My mom was a very hardworking. She was very persistent. She was very determined. She'll work hard at home and outside. She's just a very hardworking person, and she inspired me to obviously work hard.
Yeah.
She definitely came from her, but also I'm a very competitive person in nature, so I want to obviously be the best at what I do.
Yeah.
And I don't settle for like second or third. I definitely want to try to be the best. And obviously for me it was more like I have this goal, I have this dream in my mind from since I was a teenager, and then I just wanted to like obviously pursue that goal, that you pursue those dreams that I have in my mind, and how can I get to there, so obviously education was very important in my household, especially in the Asian community. We put a lot of emphasis on education. Yeah. We want the kids to do well, to go to top unis, get the top jobs in the market. Yeah. So obviously, I put a lot of work into a lot of time into my education. I wasn't the brightest kid in the school though. I was more of an average student. I worked hard. I was aiming for the A stars. But I never really ended getting the A stars. I was more of an A and B student. And obviously I got a bit disappointed, but
because you had high expectations.
I had a high expectation and I didn't reach that. And I used to stress about it, I used to worry about it, I used to put so much pressure on myself. And I didn't get that, but I moved on and I want to do the best. If I didn't get that, I'll try to get to my next goal, which is obviously to go to university, get the grades, graduate with it.
You've done that now.
I've done that.
I'm
in a comfortable situation right now. So now it's about just building from there.
Building
on top of that. So I don't.
But a lot of people just aren't in that position. Like, what would you say to someone who like you've just come across and they are spending above their means, and even though they watch all of these beautiful YouTube videos about passive income and
all of
Jordan Peterson and all of that. Watching the guy cry on TV and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get motivated and they're starting to do stuff, but they still spend above their means. What would you say to someone like that? How would you shake them into like the right path? Or would you just not bother?
Do you know what? Sometimes things have to come from within.
Yeah.
So, I have a brother. I tried so hard to try to shake him up.
To
try to make
How old is he?
fix. He's a couple of years younger than me. He's in his early 20s. And it also comes from parenting. If your parents pushes you, encourage you to do what, to go for what you want in life, and less criticism, the kids will automatically get there. But it has to come from within. So I have this drive, this ambition since I was a kid, since I was a teenager. To do what, to get to the top, and I still have that. And it has to come from the fire within you. I can't go up to someone today randomly and tell him, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I can't shake him up because obviously he's in a different situation to me. And he's probably, everything to him was given to him in the plate. For me, I didn't have that. I have to grind. I have to grind hard to get to what I have today. And that's the difference.
And that's what happens with younger siblings, isn't it? They get coddled a little bit.
So obviously I'm the second oldest in my family. So obviously expectations are high, pressure is high, family wanted you to do what's high. My brother didn't really have that. because there was 3 girls out there pushing them, like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and he didn't really have that. He was just like, oh, you know what, we go soft with him. You know what, you're right, you're the youngest, you can do whatever you want, you're the boy, you're a boy, isn't it? Yeah. Especially in your Asian family, a boy gets treated like a king, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm hearing this a lot now.
Yes, they get treated like a king.
Podcasts with Asian girls, they
and I didn't have, I didn't have that. I need to obviously work hard, get there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of.
How do you think it's different for guys?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's the culture. It's got a lot to do with the culture.
It has to do with your lived experience a little bit more than the fact to do with like girls and guys. But like guys are kind of given favorable odds when it comes to like anything from going out to like what they do in their day job kind of thing. Yeah. Right? So what do you think that is?
I don't know. I definitely think that with girls you have to be a certain way, like a certain expectation. You know, you need to be able to do everything to satisfy.
And refrain from everything else.
Yeah. And with guys, it's lovely, like laid back. You know, you could take a break. You know, you can work whenever you feel like it. You know, your mummy's boy. Yeah. You know, you get away with it. Yeah. A lot more because you're a guy. You're a boy. So, especially the mum is definitely a lot more softer on a guy, on a male child than a girl child.
So would you say the same thing? You have a sister, innit?
Yeah.
So would you say your parents are easier on you or on her?
I don't know. I think when it comes to like working there, they expect me to like, to actively be pursuing work and that compared
fulfill
to
that role that they have in their head.
Yeah, compared to my sisters and that, because I think they're more lenient when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But other things, they'll emphasize it more on my sisters than me.
Yeah.
Probably like dating and stuff, right? For example.
Yeah, I mean, they're more. I'm guessing they're more. Yeah, I mean, they're a lot more like
protective?
In a way. I mean, my youngest sister's like she's like only 11.
Yeah.
I'm the older one.
Yeah.
I'm the older one. Yeah. When it's stuff like that. Yeah, pretty much. It's just when it comes to like working and looking for what am I gonna.
Yeah, they stress more about when you're like kind of struggling and when you're not.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, I have to ease off a little bit.
Yeah, it's more about that. And even when my sisters, there's something happening where she needs like help or something, they're more willing to like help her. Yeah. But if it's for me, they kind of expect me to kind of deal with it on my own and that.
I think it's definitely.
I see that difference.
Yeah, I think it's definitely when you're the oldest in the family. They obviously expect a lot more from you because you set the example for the rest of them.
Yeah.
So if the oldest is all patched up, the rest of them will follow.
Yeah, because if you're fucking up, then you'll basically get blamed for other people's behaviour.
Yeah, exactly. So that's.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest sibling. Right? I understand that too well, man.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely because of that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this desire that you have inside of you or whatever, right? Do you feel like Andrew Tate helped you out with that?
Andrew Tate, did he really help me out with it?
The way you brought him into this.
I bring him into every conversation, man.
Okay, well, you know what? I actually agree.
I just love picking people's brains about this subject.
Yeah, so I actually...
It's so taboo, isn't it? In work, like, can't talk about that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah. But, I actually agree with most of the things he says.
Like what?
Yeah, give us some.
Because you just triggered so many people just now.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because, obviously, there's a lot of people out there. He's... A lot of people out there get offended with what he says. But some of the things that he says, I agree with it. Like, what the role of a male in a family plays an important part. He's telling people to basically stop being lazy, go work hard, be a man, stop being a loser, and stop being a coward, and be a man and provide for the family, be a protector and a provider. That's what he's saying.
Essentially.
And he's telling people to
that's
obviously
cool message. Sorry, that's a positive message.
Yeah. So what I don't understand is that what is wrong with saying to telling men to be like that? Because what is happening in this generation is that we're so controlled. So controlled by the system. We're so controlled by the media. We're so controlled. I don't want to say too much, about this.
You can say too much, but edit it out.
Yeah, but it's
they're
so controlled by the establishment and everything.
Yeah.
Every single information to you has been fed to you.
Yeah.
You know, so through social media, through Facebook, for YouTube, from mainstream media, everything is being fed to you because that's what they want to hate. But if you think outside the box.
I was gonna ask who's they right now, but I shouldn't.
Yeah. I wouldn't go into it because so everything's been fed to you and that's what they want you to believe.
Yeah.
And then here comes a man that is outside of the system. Outside, he's got his own opinion about how the world would work, how it should work, and you know, and basically contradict everything that everyone is throwing at them. Everything that the government wants you to hear, he's basically challenging them.
Yeah, because
and that's never happened. That's never happened in a very long time.
Yeah.
And then here comes a man.
Not to this level.
Who comes in and no sugarcoating. He say how it is.
Yeah.
And that is the most, like, I would say that's the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah.
Because so many people, they will say something on camera.
Yeah.
And then outside they're different. They're completely different.
Yeah.
But he's not like that. He say how he feels. And look where he got into. He's now in prison.
Yeah.
Because the people don't want him to say, they don't want him to. Yeah. Yeah, obviously I don't want to get into that, if he's innocent or not. But, and
you'd like to believe that, right? Because you kind of agree with his sentiment.
Yeah, I do agree with his sentiment and ways.
Added to your empowerment.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't really believe a life where he is guilty. Right?
And also with all of the feminist movement that's going on, and
it's a perfect time for him, man.
Yeah, and all of that, you know, he's just jumped in. He just jumped in out of nowhere, blew up on social media. And everyone's talking about it. I've seen a lot of feminists actually being ultra left.
Yeah.
As soon as they start listening to what he has to say, they change their mind.
Yeah.
You know? I've seen girls that go about, having an independent life, not being married, not having kids. I'm going to live that perfect life. I don't want to have a man in my life and all of that.
Yeah.
But a couple of years down the line, it happened in my family. You know, it happened in my family. They're regretting. They're miserable. They're alone. They're terrible. They feel so like they don't have a family. They haven't got a legacy to leave behind. They haven't got a man to be there for them. They, you know, all their friends getting married and having kids and raising a child. Yeah. And they're sitting down there, you know, all about, you know, grinding, and then who actually they've got. Who have they got to leave that behind? No one. They have no child. They've got no kids. They've got no family.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think it's important, the message that he's bringing in, and
I think his message is almost putting to the forefront other people's opinions that they've already had, but they just can't say.
They can't say
it.
Just
put it in a way that's you know, pretty tasteful.
It's more blunt
sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's blunt, and you obviously gravitate towards like bluntness, right? Like you prefer to be told straight up. This is what's happening.
This is how it is.
Like, let me sugarcoat it a little bit and make you feel not as bad because X, Y, Z, right?
Exactly. And that's why I like
people who are against that blunt tone.
Hate Andrew Tate.
They can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, when I'm arguing with like a sister or an auntie or whatever, if I raise my voice just a little bit, they won't have a conversation with me. It's done. It's finished.
Yeah.
They won't listen anymore.
Exactly.
They've switched off.
They're switched off.
So I have to like, you know, kind of like manage my tone so that they can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why people hate Andrew Tate, man.
Exactly. And I think he's changed a lot of people's life, especially young males under 30. Listening to him, it's changed the perspective. It changed the way they should be, because I feel like men have been attacked by society. Men should be ashamed of being who they are.
I love how you go from like anti-feminist to feminist in one sentence.
Sorry, what do you mean?
Like, men should be disgusted about themselves.
They should be disgusted.
They have been attacked by society. You know, that's like two sides of the coin in one sentence, yeah?
Yeah, but that's what I feel like. I feel like I feel like they've been attacked, you know, and
it's true.
And you know, they should be ashamed of who they are, and that's not right. You know, they are. In every society in the world, it's been built by strong men.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at any society in the world, the Greek, the Middle Eastern Empire, you know, any.
It's crazy because you would probably get grouped into the box that is an independent woman who's trying to like do the best for herself and think for herself.
Yeah.
But you also still believe in like family values.
Yeah, of course.
Letting the man lead and stuff like that.
Yeah, because everything's down to family. You know, if you're not doing anything for your family, is who you're doing it for.
Yeah.
You know.
So you want to kind of like build your legacy up until the point where you are going to start to have a family. And then
of course, definitely.
Continue your.
Definitely. I mean, if I keep going like that, I will look back at my life and be like, well, I've got nothing to leave behind.
Yeah.
I've got no family. I've got no kids. I've got no husband. I've got nothing to pass down. I haven't got anything to teach down. I mean, you know, the most important thing in life, it's not money.
Yeah.
It's not wealth. It's relationship.
Yeah.
Relationship from family.
Yeah.
The happiest, the key to happiness in the world is relationship.
Yeah.
The relationship that you have with your family, with your with everyone around you.
Yeah.
If you have that strong relationship in your life, you will get there. You'll be happy.
That reminds me of Vin Diesel, man. Family.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel,
yeah.
That's all I thought about when she was talking about family. Yeah.
If your family's in chaos, the world is in chaos.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to divide family.
They are, definitely.
Yeah. And we should
stop. Divide it generation by generation.
Yeah, they want to divide it. That's why there's a lot of single mom.
Yeah.
There's kids with no parents. There is, there's a lot of things happening in the world.
Yeah.
And we need to stand together. If we're united, we go further. If we're not united, we will be where we are.
I'm so curious as to how your dating life is, man. Because the thing is, I feel like the world doesn't respond well to girls who talk in a blunt way. They just don't. Yeah. But every corporate woman talks in a blunt way for a reason.
Yeah.
What do you feel like that reason is for you?
What? Talking in a blunt way?
Yeah. Like just talking with like a little bit of vigor. I think it's a good thing.
Isn't that just a requirement though? If you're in a business, in an office setting, then you have to be, and you kind of have to be in it.
Yeah, that's why all the women in the workplace are like that,
Yeah, in high positions, isn't it?
They're not going to restrict their opinion and stuff. They kind of have to put it at the front.
They have to put it at the front. And that's what makes them great leaders.
Yeah.
If you're blunt and honest and say how you feel, a lot of things get solved.
Yeah.
Instead of sugarcoating it and and backstabbing people and drop if you're blunt and honest, things happen. Things works more smoothly because they will have more trust in you. When there's trust, there's likability, and when there's likability, they will want to work with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why do you feel like some guys just do the same thing when I would raise my voice to a female and they kind of switch off? Like, why do you think they switch off when they hear a girl speaking bluntly? Because there are a lot of guys out there like that, and you can see it in comments across anything, right?
What, they switch off when there's a girl that's speaking her mind?
Like, people hate just pearly things, and they don't even look into why they hate her. They just spew hate because she talks.
No, I think there's other reasons, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for her it's different, but you know what I mean? Like, any girl.
A girl that talks blunt.
Yeah. Because girls are kind of told to like speak softly and stuff like that.
I think I know what you mean. I think it's just I mean
that's why the world doesn't respond well to it. You don't know how to respond to this question, innit?
No, I mean I'll say I don't know, but I don't think this is a correct answer, innit?
Yeah.
But I mean I'll say my theory, but this could be completely wrong, innit? Because obviously I'm not an expert.
Yeah, you're not an expert.
No, I just feel maybe it's more natural for women to kind of to not be as blunt. I don't know. I don't know.
No, don't even look at her when you're saying the answer.
I don't know. Maybe men are naturally more blunt than women. Then I don't know.
Traditionally speaking, men would speak more bluntly.
Yeah.
Because they would often speak with more of a percentage of logic versus women.
Yeah.
And that's what Andrew Tate says. And you agree with that, right?
I agree with that.
I'm trying to understand what you agree with. What you
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I do feel like women's a lot more emotional. They're an emotional being. And obviously they get offended through someone being blunt to them or being too honest to their face, because that's how they take it. If someone's been too harsh on them, they don't really like it much.
Yeah, but then obviously the women who I would speak to in the past are those kind of women who are, career driven and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they feel like they have to go against the patriarchy, and because of that they speak with more vigor, and they kind of like have to put more confidence at the forefront, even if they're not actually feeling like that. So when you started your career, did you feel like you had to do that? Because I know a lot of girls who had to do that.
They have to stand up and
they have to act more confident than they actually are, and then like behind the scenes they'll be like, oh, I had to do this, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think
they're not taking me seriously because I'm a woman, that kind of thing.
Oh, that. I mean, I've always been blunt.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want to progress from a career or like go up the career ladder. It's not like that. It's just been a natural thing. I've always been blunt and honest.
Because your personality kind of lends itself.
Yeah, it's because that's how my personality is. But with girls that do that, you know what? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure why they have to put a front to get to the top. Because
but you know how it's benefited you, right?
Yeah, obviously it has benefited me in several ways, because people respect you more when you're straight up, you're honest, and you speak your mind.
Yeah.
But with girls that do that, I mean, if they got goals in mind, if they got a dream in mind, and if they've got that fire in the belly to get to where they want to be, then I would definitely encourage them to do that. To obviously, if they want to get someone's attention, then they have to. Regardless, if you want to move up the career ladder and do well and get promoted, then do it. But don't do it by stepping on the other people's toes or pushing them down to get to the top.
Yeah. Some people obviously have to resort to those tactics.
Yeah. Well, I don't really respect them if they do that.
Me too.
Because what goes around comes around. Exactly. So if you
eventually, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, karma will get you.
Yeah.
Bitch, right?
Exactly. So I mean, if they have to do that to get more attention and to really get to the top, and they want to get someone's attention, then I don't see where the problem is. And I think girls are like that, are quite admirable, because they're going for what they want. So it's good. Yeah.
And a lot of Asian girls I've spoken to have told me about the fact that they can't really date as freely as they would want to and stuff like that, and as a consequence they don't have a lot of experience, right? So how would you talk to that kind of girl who doesn't have that much experience, and they're kind of like asking for advice, but then everyone else's dating experiences are so extensive in comparison that it seems unmanageable to have that conversation? Okay.
Well, to be honest, my dating life is it's not like that. It's quite similar to that, but I'm not as experienced as most girls out there, and I don't think they should be ashamed of it.
No, of course not.
I definitely not. I don't feel like.
Why do they feel shame for it? Like, why would you feel shame for not having experience? Because I've heard that.
I don't feel ashamed.
Girls who haven't had experience, they're kind of like ashamed at the fact that like they won't be able to do X, Y, and Z for their person in the future.
Oh, right.
I don't think.
You never hear that. You're crazy.
No, I swear, because I think that's for men, innit? Don't you?
No, it's not just for men.
No, I think men get shamed more, innit? If you're an experienced,
man, you get shamed more.
But like, if you're an experienced girl, it's like.
Yeah, but they feel incapable at times, you know, if they haven't had experience.
I feel like men get ashamed more if they don't have experience.
Definitely. But what's not talked about is the women who feel shame for not having experience, I think. So I think that's a more interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, of course, isn't it?
Yeah, which is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah,
okay, so I have friends. I have friends, very close friends of mine, and they obviously
very close friends. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, Karen.
Very close friends of mine, and they don't have any experience.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have any experience.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and men trying to make her feel ashamed because she's you know, she doesn't have that experience.
Yeah.
And she hasn't had that experience with many men out there, and she's in her mid-20s.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like,
it's more like so the reaction.
Yeah.
Of the people who like they would encounter.
Yeah.
Right? Because when they hear, oh, I haven't had any experience, they're like, what the fuck do I do with this information? I've only spoken to people who have had loads of experience. Yeah. Because this is 2023, right? Like,
yeah.
Everyone's out there in the streets, right?
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't really follow what society says.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how would you go about making them not feel as guilty for not having experience?
Well, they shouldn't feel guilty. Do you know why? Because men always prefer girls that virgins.
Yeah.
Throughout history, they prefer men, girls that are virgins.
Just hate you for that statement, but I wanted you to get that.
No, it's a fact. It's a fact. Any society that you go to in the world, throughout history, men always preferred girls who are virgins and who've got a low body count.
Yeah. In this day and age, we'll just say low body count.
Yeah. But in this day and age, in this day and age, what's going on is that they made them feel ashamed of not having that experience.
Yeah.
Do you know that your value in the market is so much more higher when you don't have those experiences? Because you don't feel ashamed of yourself. You don't feel you're not gonna look back and regret it.
Yeah.
And so for those girls that feel ashamed of feeling that,
and the thing is, the guys that they speak to make them feel ashamed.
I mean,
so it's not necessarily
okay. So those guys are making her feel ashamed. Okay, that's very interesting because
or for example, I don't know, this is just a vague example, right? But let's say like they're on a dating app, and as soon as they find out that someone's innocent or too innocent, they get out of the dating app.
But do you know why people are in this dating app? Because they just want to be and then leave. That's all they want. Literally. That's all they want. They don't want any commitment.
Yeah, but someone who doesn't have experience won't understand that until they actually do it, right? So that's
you have
positive experience.
When there's 100 men's on Bumble or any dating app.
Or any dating app.
Not just Bumble, any dating app. You know, a majority of it, I would say more than 90% of it, they just want to be.
Yeah.
They just want to do it one time 100%. And then leave. That's all they want to do. They want to have fun. That's what
maybe
they want.
2 times if they're local, right?
Yeah. If they're local, 2 times, maybe 3 times. It really depends on how desperate you are.
Set up a friends with benefits plan.
Yeah, exactly. That's
who the fuck would do that?
Yeah. And only a very tiny minority we want to have a serious relationship with a girl.
Yeah.
And that's mainly guys that literally over the age of 25 that just want to settle down, have a family, have kids, and just want to have a peaceful life. Those minority guys, that minority is very small on the dating app.
Yeah.
And also because we live in a day and age. Yeah. In this day and age, it's very hard to date. It's very hard to meet people because everything is done it's done inside your home. You have people working remotely, people not going to the office. They've got a hybrid model and all of that. It's very hard to meet a girl. It's very hard to meet a man either. And so obviously they're on a dating app. That's the only way they will go about it. If they want to really settle down and have a family. Yeah. The only avenue where you can actually find a girl is through a dating app. Yeah. And majority of those guys that are on a dating app, they just want to be and then leave. That's what they want. They want to have fun. One time thing and then leave.
So what you're saying is the girl shouldn't feel
they shouldn't feel
every single time.
No, they should not feel like that. They should not feel like that. Because there will always be a gem out there who's going to look after you and you're going to find it and you're going to have a beautiful life. Okay? If you don't meet it through a dating app, you'll probably meet it through families and friends.
Yeah, that's probably a better option.
Yeah, or mutual friends. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my opinions towards it. And no girl should ever feel like they're less than someone else because they haven't got that experience.
No, they should feel more so, right?
Let me say that again. Throughout history, men always preferred virgins.
There you go.
Okay? And if you can bring that to the table, if you can bring that to the tables, you're like a flower.
Yeah. Yeah, so what do you say to the girls who hear you say that and they're like, fuck you? Like, what do you say to them? Like, you must encounter so many girls on a day-to-day basis, and you talk about your little glimmer of an opinion, and then they're like, what the fuck is this person saying to me?
I mean, you shouldn't feel ashamed that I'm saying this. I mean,
no, I don't. But what I'm saying is, like,
girls that feel that listening to me and they
who might exactly.
Well, everyone's gone through different experiences. Everyone's is been brought up differently. Obviously, a lot of people listen to mainstream media. They feed that information, and obviously, it shapes who they are. Yeah. So obviously, my opinion shouldn't obviously offend anyone of how they should feel because they've got a high body count. Everyone's different. Yeah. If tomorrow I meet a girl who's got she's been with more than 10 guys, that's not my problem. That's who she is, isn't it? Yeah.
She just deal with the consequences.
Yeah, she just deal with the consequences. Obviously, you will have to explain your future husband, what you've been up to, what your past experience will be like with different men. You have to explain to your kids and all of that. So that's who you are. That's what I leave it to that. I leave it to you to do that. Yeah. But for me, personally, I just feel like the less the better. And you always have, you're keeping yourself that special person. Keeping yourself that special person who's going to treat you like a queen and make you feel like as a princess,
How do you feel about 50-50 households?
50-50 household where it's the men and the women working together.
They're both paying bills, they're both doing housework.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah. If you're contributing half your salaries toward managing and all of that, and then the guy contributing and doing that, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I don't see where we need to complain about it.
Yeah. So you disagree with like Andrew Tate's sentiment of like.
Yeah. I'm not a complete fan of what he says. There's a lot of things I don't agree with, especially having 4 wives. Yeah. So that.
But don't you think that's more of a joke?
I mean, having 4 wives. I mean, what's the purpose of having a marriage?
So this 4 wives thing is a joke that I commonly use when I'm speaking to someone new, and that's because I know that, like, technically speaking, back in the day, you were allowed to have 4 wives because there weren't as many men around because they were getting killed in the wars and stuff like that.
That's
so
right.
You would be able to like fend for the families and stuff. Yeah. But it's like a Muslim thing, and I tend to joke around about it because I know that all girls are not gonna want to hear that. But I do it to kind of like annoy them, innit? Like at the beginning. Yeah. It's a joke, I think.
Well, I think he's joking though.
Yeah. I think he's down to have multiple baby mothers and stuff like that because he was obviously done that.
But like I feel like him and like Marin.
Or do you think he's being serious about that shit?
I think there's an element that's they're serious because a lot of them like Marin and all that, they always talk about like how they want not necessarily 4 wives but just multiple partners.
4 is the maximum basically. That's why they're saying 4.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to think it's a joke. I like to think it's a joke, and he's obviously doing it. He's just doing it because he wants to tease most girls that are watching him talk. But I mean,
just to provoke them.
But obviously, throughout history, back in the days way before, 100 years ago, it was normal to have 4 wives, and the man obviously have multiple women, and he's a provider, the protector of all these women, and that's a normal thing back in the days. But I do feel like it breaks the whole rule about having a matrimonial marriage. When you're going to a church or in a Muslim wedding, I don't know, it's a nikah. And in the wedding we have the barat and all of that. It's 2 souls coming together to form a unity. And having 4 wives is completely against all of that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's 2 being coming together to form a family, to bring as 2 souls coming together in front of God, saying that I'm going to be committed to my wife. I'm going to be.
Still want that for yourself?
Yeah, I definitely want that for myself and for future generation. Yeah. We have to stick to the traditional
What else do you
thing.
Disagree with, man?
What do I disagree with? With Andrew Tate. What do I disagree with?
Because the disagreements are very logical, obviously, But
that's one thing that I disagree with. I don't know. I don't know what.
4 wives. The man doesn't have to necessarily be the provider.
Oh,
but you agree with like everything else. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
I think majority. I think majority of the things about entrepreneurship, about men being men, about escaping the system, and I completely agree with what he says.
You think the world is too soft, basically, right?
I do think the world's too soft.
Yeah.
I feel like we're being fed a lot of fake information, it's like we live in a clown world, like he says. We live in a clown world. Do you know why?
This guy I need to get you on a podcast with. Oh my god, it would be insane. We get distracted. We get distracted. You get some views from that.
Yeah, shout out Gerbs, isn't it?
Yeah, shout out Gerbs, man. You're gonna see an episode come out soon.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking love it, man. I can't lie.
We live in a distracted world. So you wake up, you look at your phone, you look at social media. Yeah. There's people dancing to, I don't know, what's
Katy Perry or something.
Katy Perry or Justin Bieber.
The first thing that came in my head, okay?
Katy Perry,
they're dancing to Justin Bieber. I don't know what they're dancing to, but a lot of people obviously wants to have TikToks. They do crazy dance in the road. They do dance off and things like that. So we live in a very distracted world, and obviously it's filled with garbage.
But that's like how people entertain themselves, right? And obviously, talking about self-help and stuff like that is a positive thing. Mm-hmm. But people can't talk about that all the time because it will be exhausting, right? So what would you talk about outside of like self-help and bettering yourself that you can like communicate to with like random people on the street to just build a connection?
There's a lot of ways you can self-help yourself, self-grow, better yourself.
No, but like, do you talk about anything entertainment related? Because you sound like you don't from that. Because that's what people do, innit? At work, like, you can't escape those kind of conversations about Love Island or about what the football was the other week, or
Well, at work, when someone.
You seem like the kind of person who doesn't want to sort of interact with these kind of.
Corporate.
No, I do have a fun side to it. Like, obviously, it's not that I'm fully on personal development and have grinding and making money. Obviously, I do have a fun side to it, and if you know me personally, you probably would know. But I try to avoid those discussions about
generally
Love Island and things like that. But I
feel like it lowers your vibration. Is that how you feel?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's garbage. I mean, all we're talking about is two people getting banged on national TV. that is what it is. Or making love, like finding love. I mean, how do you find love on national TV?
Yeah.
We just being put into in a house with a bunch of strangers, and you expect yourself to find love. I mean, if you do find love, great, that's amazing. But I mean, seriously, you went on national TV to find love? No, you're not there to find love. You're there because you want to publicize yourself.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Staple,
that's a fact. You want to grow your Instagram following. You want to grow your network. You want to have sponsorship deals with all these big brands out there. And when you put yourself out there, you will get it.
How many people talk to you about Love Island that you're this pissed off about it?
Too many people.
Actually, they don't talk to me about Love Island.
And then you just see it kind of thing. You're like,
no, I was just like, whatever. Like, it doesn't interest me. Yeah. And also when people talk about their intimate life, I mean, like, I switch off completely.
It is a bit too much, isn't it?
Yeah, like, I don't want to hear what was going on in your bedroom. That's not something that I need to know.
Yeah.
Is that
what people talk to you about?
Yeah, I have friends that talk about the intimate life, and obviously that's not my thing to...
I don't know why people are comfortable talking about it, to be fair.
Just generation.
That's okay, man.
Okay.
Is it gone?
We don't need it, right? I mean, we can just...
Cool. I think it's just this generation, isn't it? Like, we don't know what privacy is anymore, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the world is so sexualized. It goes back to the whole, like, how do you even speak to someone who feels ashamed of not having experience, right? Like, how are we having this discussion? They should feel proud that they didn't have experience.
They should be proud. They should be proud. I mean,
the way the world works, it's just not like that, right? You're empowered to almost portray your sexuality and
and
you get rewarded for it.
You get rewarded for it, for sexualizing.
This is sexualizing.
Yeah, it's a sexual. It's a sexual market.
Yeah.
The more you sexualize with it, the more money you get.
Yeah.
You have lawyers quitting their jobs and they open up an OnlyFans account.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they want to do it for this.
Yeah.
And we live in a very turbulent world because everything is going downhill.
Yeah.
Like the values, the principle that have been taught through generation, it's just going off. It's just going off the roof. And it's sad because
I think it's an exciting time as well because it's kind of going the other way now a little bit. Like even in music and stuff, they're kind of talking about how they prefer housewives as opposed to
it's the same you said at the start. What's it? Well, I think you said it unless I was hallucinating or something. Maybe. You said what's it? Something times create strong men. Strong men create. You said that.
Strong men create great society. Strong societies.
Bad times create. What's it? Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times create strong men.
Yeah.
I was cycling that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're in that bad time phase.
We're in that bad time, and I definitely want to emphasize that men should really,
And what would women have to do to kind of like balance that out? Like, what would you say your responsibility is?
I feel like
that's men's responsibility.
I feel like we need to definitely go back to traditional value of how women should be, and taking care of the family.
Because that's what you'd be naturally better at.
We're naturally better at, but also without neglecting what you want in life as well.
Yeah.
Like if you want to have goals where you want to build assets, create generational wealth. I mean, no man should stop a girl from doing that.
Yeah.
Because a couple of years ago, if we look at 10, 15 years ago, women she couldn't do that. And now we have the opportunities to do whatever jobs out there that is in the market.
Yeah.
And we live in a good as well as in a bad time because through technology now, there's a lot of opportunities out there. AI and everything that's going on. There's so many opportunities out there that we can grab and make a difference in the world and make our life easier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, other values like family value, like values that are important to society, it's all going down the drain.
Individualistic world.
Yeah, we live in a very individualistic world, and I think it's time to change it into a more holistic world.
Yeah, because we used to live in tribes, and now we're so far removed from that reality.
From that reality,
we can kind of fend for ourselves.
Yeah,
we need to, like you said, because that's kind of a bit of your personality. Is like, okay, fuck everyone else. I need to put myself above anyone else's needs or wants.
Yeah.
And then I can maybe,
Yeah, but what I said is basically, if I look after myself, I'll look after my family, and then my family can look after the community.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. If I can't take care of myself, how can I take care of my community?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it has to be a balance.
It
has to be a balance.
Yeah.
So you do take care of yourself, and then eventually, if you have enough money, if you're in a good position, then go after the community, make a difference in the world, change people's lives, go and do charity works in South Asia or in Africa where people are struggling for like water, education, things that we take for granted in this country.
Yeah, but that's only after you make it, right?
Yeah, that's only after you make it. Once you make it, you can then help others.
The kids are gonna have to wait. I need to make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But any final thoughts? We're kind of done now. So anything else you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I mean,
speaking for like an hour straight. So.
Oh really? I didn't know that. Okay, well, I just want to say thank you very much for having me here. It's been a pleasure talking to your audience.
It's been nice to pick your brain, man.
And I hope my viewpoints doesn't offend as many people out there.
I hope it does.
But I've just been very real and authentic. I don't want to sugarcoat anything and wear a mask. I just want to put my views out there because there's a lot of people out there that just say something on camera and say something outside of camera. So I just wanted to be different, and definitely want to encourage more people to just be true to themselves. And be true to who they are.
Why should people follow you?
Huh?
Why should people follow you?
They should follow me because I'm real.
Look at the camera.
Because I'm real.
That's it.
I keep it real.
Alright, cool. We're gonna go now, guys. But yeah, in a bit. Cool.